What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast. We're back at it. We're still around the 4.88 region. Um, there's been a lot of discussion about Japan's 30-year bond, which is at 3.21%, which is the highest it's been in its history. When you see stuff like that, right? I mean, you're seeing bond yields around the world spike up. And what it's telling you is something's coming. It's sniffing something out. And usually, um, when you have the abundance of money, so money printers, what can happen is that the bond market will respond, and you may see a dwindling of demand for these bonds. As that dwindling demand for those bonds decreases, right? Then you're going to have to attract that capital into those bond markets. And if you want to attract that capital into those bond markets, then you need higher yields. Okay? So as the yield is going up, something's not going right. And that's what I want you guys to see. Because it's very apparent where we're going. I know some of you may look at it and may not understand, but soon you'll understand what these little squiggles on this chart are really indicating. And so, what it can be, a lot of people were thinking, well, the Fed's going to cut rates in September. I better jump into a house before someone beats me to the punch, and all of a sudden, the prices keep going higher. And people get FOMO. They get FOMO and they trap themselves into a big debt trap, right? They want to have the nice house. They're scared that, of the narrative that may be pushed out there. And so they fall for it and they go. And so that's the dangerous part, right? When you're in this late stage cycle, they're trying to get as many people in as they can, right? And they're trying to push that narrative. But folks, you could be setting yourself up for failure. Now, as far as the 30-year mortgage rate, it's still around 6.58, right? Not much change there from last time when we discussed this. You can see here. Let's see. I wanted to show you guys this because it encapsulates where we're at. U.S. stock valuations have reached their highest level on record, surpassing both the dot-com bubble and the 1929 peak before the onset of the Great Depression. Now, what does that tell you? That tells you that we are now even surpassing those time periods where there was a significant downturn in the markets. And some people, when when they see something like this and they're living that moment in time, they think to themselves, "No, it can't happen. This time is different. We're so much advanced, and we have all these things that are factoring into it, and yada 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 yap 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 yap." But what you're seeing is you gotta pay the piper, right? Um, it it it's been a very grinding up road to reach up here. But now that we're here, I think come this fall, you're going to see the changing of the winds. And um, how it plays out, right? Like, it's inevitable that the gap between the rich and the poor, the top 1% and the middle class, is just going to keep getting higher. Whether it be through the crash of the markets, they, you know, scoop up by cheap, inflate their, portfolios, and the little guy, loses a lot. Or they just keep pumping this market, keep going. Um, but inevitably, right? Um, the whole goal is to make people lose all they have. And that's the tough part, right? The other piece here, talking about rate cuts, is the Fed usually starts cutting rates before a recession begins. You can see every major rate cutting cycle that has happened in the last 30 plus years has resulted in a recession. The two in most recent memory is the dot-com bubble and the Great Financial Crisis. So in January of 2001, right after the dot-com bubble, they started cutting rates significantly. And we had a recession, right? And then come September 2007. Now, what's eerily similar, if you may see here, is that it seems like it's always near the fall where we start cutting those rates. Last time when we had a great financial crisis, it was around that September time period, right? And now we'll see if we do indeed cut, if it aligns with that September time period. But it's worth noting that this time is not different. Here we have housing affordability. So what I'm showing you guys is, statistic after statistic after statistic, just showing you the signs out there, right? If people want to see them, they can see them. To afford the median price home in the U.S. today, you need an income of $124,000. And what's the actual median household income? $79,000. That's a 50% gap, which is the largest on record, larger than the 2008 financial crisis. So what does that tell you? It's got to revert back to the mean, right? Houses got to come down. The pricing does. Whether it does or not is, we'll be watching. But it's important to note that something is on the horizon. And it's coming sooner rather than later, and you have to be prepared for whatever that may be. So, my intent is to warn you guys, help you guys, right? Share the videos, provide information, comment in the chat, see what you guys are seeing. So, alrighty, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. This is the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.